We consider that Fiji has reached a crossroads and that the government and all those empowered to make decisions in our constitutional democracy are unable to make decisions to save our people from destruction. As of 6 o'clock this evening, the military has taken over the government, has executive authority, and the running of this country. I urge all citizens to remain calm and maintain the peace that currently prevails. As of now, the military and the police are working together to ensure that the situation remains calm and that people do not take advantage of the current situation and break the law. As a precautionary measure, the security forces will be putting up and manning checkpoints, which will be removed in about 5 days, within the towns and city boundaries and near critical infrastructure. There will be no curfew. The security forces will also be conducting joint patrols, and you will be seeing a lot more soldiers than the usual, with policemen on patrol. Please do not be intimidated or scared. They are there to ensure that people do not break the law and hence ensure everybody's security. I reiterate my call to those that are thinking of conducting illegal activities against the populace and or against the military or police not to do so. The security forces will be out there and will ensure the security of all the people of this nation. At the moment, the two forces are in the process of setting up a joint operation command center at the Central Police Station in Suva. The telephone numbers of the JOC, as we call it, will be made available to the public once the center is set up. All the ministers from the last government have been given from tomorrow 1 month to vacate their government quarters and return all government property in their possession. They will be paid a severance pay of 1 month's pay. There is no intention on the military to arrest these ministers. We only ask that they live their daily lives and not interfere in the process that is now taking place. RFMF over the years has been raising security concerns with the government, in particular the introduction of controversial bills and policies that have divided the nation now and will have very serious consequences to our future generations. These concerns have been conveyed to the Prime Minister in all fairness and sincerity, with the country's interest at heart. Apparently, all RFMF concerns were never accepted with true spirit. All my efforts to the government were to no avail. Instead, they turned their attention on the RFMF itself. Despite my advice, they tried to remove me and create dissension within the ranks of the RFMF, the institution that stood up and redirected the nation from the path of doom that the nation was being led in 2000. Garcia has already conducted a silent coup through bribery, corruption, and the introduction of controversial bills. This morning, Garcia refused to attend an audience with His Excellency the President in His Excellency's attempt to resolve the impasse. This action by the Prime Minister has indicated to me and the military that the government has no intention of solving this crisis. This Constitution allows His Excellency to sack the Prime Minister in cases such as this. However, the stalemate has forced me to step forward and the military has taken over government. The RFMF throughout this impasse has wanted to resolve this matter constitutionally, legally and expeditiously. The RFMF could have carried out unconstitutional and illegal activities, but has not done so and will not do so. It believes in the rule of law and shall adhere to the Constitution. It only adheres to the rule of law in the Constitution, but more importantly, believes in the adherence to the spirit of the law and the Constitution. Our position can be differentiated from the Garcia government, which, for example, through the passing of the reconciliation, the Ngolingolian land claims will undermine the Constitution, will deprive many citizens of their rights, guaranteed under the Constitution, and compromise and undermine the integrity of the constitutional officers, including the judiciary. The RFMF not only believes in the Constitution, but it also believes in and adheres to constitutionalism. As commander of the RFMF, I have been to visit the President, who is head of the state, and the Commander-in-Chief on a number of occasions over the last few days. The President has personally stated that he is concerned about the crisis point we have reached. We are now in limbo because the Prime Minister has refused to see him despite the President asking him to do so. The President has the constitutional and legal option to dismiss the Prime Minister under Section 109(1) of the Constitution in his own judgment should exceptional circumstances exist. These powers are sometimes referred to reserve powers, which have been exercised in Fiji previously and other common law jurisdictions, including Australia, by Governor-General Kerr. Kerr, as you all know, sacked Prime Minister Whitlam. This reading of the powers of the President through this provision of the Constitution was upheld in the decision by Justice Michael Scott in the case of the Reverend Aquila Mbaki and others, and the President of the Republic of Fiji Islands and the Attorney General. This decision of Justice Scott has not been overturned and therefore is binding and valid in law. Apart from the fact that the Prime Minister is refusing to visit the President and the fact that we are in this national state of limbo, the President is supported by some, including the Vice President, who are putting undue pressure on him. Those putting pressure on him and who are going against the ruling of Justice Scott are taking advantage of the President. Accordingly, given the RFMF's assessment of the governance issues, which I have just laid out, the need to resolve the current crisis, the need to invigorate the economy, the need to normalize the state of affairs, the need to maintain the Constitution, the need to maintain law and order, and recognizing that the President has been prevented by some, including the Vice President, from exercising his constitutional prerogative to dismiss the Prime Minister in exceptional circumstances. As Commander of the RFMF, I, under the legal doctrine of necessity, will step into the shoes of the President, given that he has been blocked from exercising his constitutional powers. You will note that Justice Scott has also stated in that case that in some unusual, extreme situations, a departure from the normal requirements of the Constitution is permitted.